Imagine waking up one day 2 inches taller, but also unable to walk properly, seeing strange lights even with your eyes closed, and losing bone and muscle like you've been bedridden for months. Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? Nope, this is what actually happens to astronauts when they go to space. Space might look beautiful and peaceful from Earth, but for the human body, it's one of the most extreme environments imaginable. Here on Earth, gravity is always working on us. It keeps our feet on the ground, our bones strong, and our fluids balanced. But in space, there's microgravity. Basically, a state where gravity is so weak, it feels like it's not there at all. That one difference changes everything about how our bodies function. Let's start with something that sounds pretty cool: getting taller. In space, without gravity compressing your spine, the discs between your vertebrae expand. That makes astronauts grow up to 2 inches taller. But there's a catch. That same lack of compression means back pain, weaker support for your body, and a tough time adjusting when you return to Earth. It's like stretching a rubber band. You can pull it out, but eventually it snaps back, and sometimes not quite the same. Now, think about your muscles. On Earth, even standing up uses dozens of muscles. In space, you float. There's no resistance, no up, no down. That sounds fun, until your muscles realize they don't need to work. And what happens to muscles that don't work? They shrink. In fact, astronauts can lose up to 20% of their muscle mass in just a couple of weeks. That's like skipping the gym for months, even though you're exercising every day in orbit. That's why space agencies make astronauts exercise for about 2 hours a day. Every single day they're in space. And still, muscle loss is a major problem. Bones get hit too. Gravity on Earth helps keep our bones dense by constantly putting pressure on them. In microgravity, your body thinks, "Hey, I guess we don't need these bones anymore," and starts to break them down. Astronauts can lose more than 1% of their bone mass per month. Imagine an astronaut spending 6 months in space. That's like aging decades in bone years. When they return to Earth, their skeleton is weaker, and it takes a long time to rebuild that lost bone. But the problems don't stop there. Let's talk fluids. Gravity usually pulls blood toward your feet. In space, there's no such pull, so fluids shift upward. That's why astronauts often look puffy in the face and complain of stuffy noses. It might seem harmless, but this shift can increase pressure in the skull and even flatten the eyeball. That's right, some astronauts come back with vision problems that never fully go away. Scientists are still trying to figure out exactly why this happens, but it's a big deal. Seeing clearly in space isn't optional. Then there's the heart. It's a muscle too, and like your other muscles, it gets weaker in space, but it also doesn't have to pump as hard because of that fluid shift. Less work means it shrinks over time, which can be dangerous when an astronaut returns to Earth and suddenly needs that full heart power again. Some have even fainted just trying to stand up after coming home. Now, here's something wild. Your sense of direction gets scrambled. Our inner ears help us balance and understand motion thanks to fluid-filled canals that rely on gravity. In space, those fluids float unpredictably, confusing your brain. This leads to space motion sickness, basically feeling super dizzy and nauseous for the first few days in orbit. Imagine trying to fix a satellite or run an experiment while feeling like you just spun around in a chair 20 times. Not fun. And remember those strange lights I mentioned? Some astronauts see flashes of light when they close their eyes. No, they're not dreaming. These are cosmic rays, high-energy particles from space that shoot through the body. On Earth, our magnetic field and atmosphere block most of them, but in space, they're everywhere. These rays can damage cells and DNA, which raises the risk of cancer and other long-term health problems. The longer you're in space, the more exposure you get. Radiation is one of the biggest dangers of space travel. Outside Earth's protective bubble, astronauts are bombarded with it constantly. Too much exposure can increase cancer risks, harm the nervous system, and even affect future fertility. Scientists are working on better shielding and medicines to protect space travelers, but it's one of the hardest challenges to solve, especially for missions to Mars or beyond. Let's not forget mental health. Imagine being stuck in a metal tube the size of a school bus for 6 months, thousands of miles from home, with no real-time communication and only a handful of people around you. Isolation, stress, and disrupted sleep cycles are serious issues. The brain is part of the body too, and space doesn't take it easy on the mind. Astronauts train extensively to handle these pressures, but even the toughest minds can struggle. So, why do people go to space if it's so rough on the body? Because it pushes the boundaries of what humans can achieve. Every mission teaches us more, not just about space, but about ourselves. How we adapt, how we protect our health, and how we might one day live on other planets. The more we learn, the closer we get to solving these problems, making space travel safer for the next generation of explorers. In the end, space is like the ultimate test for the human body. It stretches us, literally and figuratively. It reveals just how finely tuned we are to life on Earth and how challenging it is to leave our home planet behind. But with each mission, we get a little smarter, a little stronger, and a little more ready to go further. Because even if space messes with the human body, it also calls to something deep within us, the need to explore the unknown.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.